Hey, it's Bill Gross, the LA probate expert, and I'm really excited today to have a conversation with somebody I've met. I use their company as a vendor. Bryce Hasties is with 1800GotJunk, and it's one of the vendors I use. Being a probate agent, we often get property with extra stuff in it, no extra charge, and 1800GotJunk is one of the ways we help rid that problem. So, Bryce, welcome to our phone call today.
Thanks. How are you doing today?
I'm doing great. Tell me a little bit about, first off, how you got into the position you're in now. How did you get into the junk business?
Yeah, good question. Honestly, kind of started when I got into sales first, I guess. I used to work for a software company back in the day. And then my old boss started working with 1800GotJunk. So I called her up and said there was an opening at inside sales. So I just said, you know what, let's go. And I haven't looked back since.
Wow. And so where are you geographically located normally?
Me personally, I'm in actually Vancouver, BC, Canada.
Oh, Canada.
So, but I represent 3 different places though. So I help with LA, San Diego, and Tucson.
So is LA all one operator, or are there multiple operators? How does 1800GotJunk work?
Yeah, so yeah, great question. So obviously there's definitely a lot of different franchises. So it's not corporate, just meaning each franchise is owned by someone else. So for example, in LA, you have a Greater LA and LA. So the territory is split. And then my coworker does the GLA, and then I do LA Metro.
And so as a user, what does that mean to me when I live in one part of LA, I live in West LA, but my prospective client is in anywhere, the Valley or Pasadena or Long Beach.
Mm-hmm.
To me, it's all one company. I'm sure the franchisor feels like they're getting, how does that work that the business gets routed?
Yeah, so like hypothetically, let's just say you gave me a call and you have a job in GLA. So instead of me going, well, just call the number, which you can do. So for example, if you were to call the 1800GotJunk number, that takes you straight to our sales center hotline, where they'll take your name, number, and whichever you need. Or if you go through my way, I'll take all the information down. I'll talk to my coworker, basically give him the information. He'll tell the franchise, schedule it for you. So basically it's all being done behind the scenes, and it's easy and convenient for you guys.
So you can be one point of contact throughout the whole system rather than me figuring out which one's which.
I could definitely, yep. And then, but worst case scenario, I could always give you the phone number to my coworker as well. So, but I can definitely be your one point of contact.
Got it. So how do you explain what your company's service is in the marketplace? What do you guys do, and how do you do it differently?
Yeah, so basically our job is to make people's lives easier at the end of the day, right? You've probably heard the commercials, that awesome whistling that always gets stuck in your head. Well, I think what makes us different is we put customer service at the forefront of everything. It's not just a job, it's what are we going to do to make your guys' life easier? What are we going to do on every little pickup, every little thing? Like a phone call like this, for example, right? Are we giving that extra, switching from ordinary to extraordinary, essentially? I do apologize, my camera is being a little glitchy right now. Okay. Yeah, so what we can do as well is we donate, we recycle. I know especially in LA and in California, they have a very big recycle rule over. They want X amount always done. So we definitely do that. And then last case, we always junk if we can. And as it says right there, we make junk disappear. So not just residential, also commercial as well, which is what I do. I focus on the commercial side.
Got it. And so really you handle because I often get customers to say, well, I don't want to just throw it away and put it in a landfill. I'm concerned about the environment. I want to recycle. I know as a consumer, there's a lot of fraud with recycling. A lot of the recycling in the city of LA doesn't get recycled for whatever reasons. But you guys handle that corporately, whatever it is you're able to recycle, you do. And you have, I imagine, some responsibility to the local agency, if it's the city of LA or the county, that you guys have to comply with that. But I imagine that's part of your value proposition is you're recycling for us.
Well, exactly. Yeah. And like I said, we just don't recycle as well. We also donate. So if we got a really nice couch that I've had a numerous amount of times where people really love the couch, they don't want to junk it. Obviously you can't recycle it. So we'll do our best to donate it.
I think one of the things that I've liked about your service, having used your company multiple times and used other local vendors as well, is that the other local vendors seem to always have an additional charge at some point in the process. You guys seem, as long as my estimates up front is accurate, we're pretty much done. You load it up, you take it away, and I don't even hear from you again. How do you guys estimate it? How would I, as a real estate agent, I have a house that's, whatever many square feet, however many rooms. How would I estimate what the cost would be for a move, or how do we handle that process?
Yeah, so how we handle that is actually, I can bring it up right now. Give me 1 second. I have a document that kind of shows how big our truck roughly is, but how we charge by volume of the truck. So if you ever call me, for example, and you ask for a specific price, unfortunately, I can never say it's always going to be this much. But what I can always guarantee you is we can always bring in an on-site estimate that's always free. And most of the time, I can actually do a on-site same day estimate. They'll drop by, take a look, and they can give you a pretty good rough estimate of what it's going to cost. And then they give that to me, and I give you a call right back, and then we kind of negotiate from there. So regarding kind of how big our truck is, though, let me grab that. So it's 10 feet long by 8 feet wide and 5 feet high. So you can kind of gauge from there how big of a truck we're dealing with. And like I said, you can see the picture right there is we'll fill that up as much as we can. And let's just say we quote you for 3/4 of a truck, but it's only going to be half a truck. We're not going to charge you for the 3/4. We're going to charge you for what is in that truck.
Well, more important is you quote me 3/4. You're not going to come back and charge me 4 1/4. That's been my experience with other vendors, that you guys, once you do an upfront quote, then you guys live by it. Unless
we
things
honor
happen,
yeah.
You guys do, and that's the advantage of working with a real company. So really, on your website here, 1800GotJunk, you have a schedule now, a no obligation estimate. I've done this where you send somebody out and they walk the property real fast. In my cases, they usually just went ahead and picked it up there or on site. But if I have a lockbox or something, it's a real estate agent. It's real convenient. If I get you access, you guys walk it, give me a number, we agree on it, and then I'm done. You have a credit card, and I'm done with the whole thing.
And that's what I like too, is so let's just say it's only going to take about half a truck, for example, because I've done some estimates where it's going to take 20 trucks. So obviously they can't do it on site when they're there. But what I do love about this is, yeah, they can jump on site, take a look. They can ask you, are you okay with this price? You say yes, they'll take it on the spot.
Exactly. Most of them. And occasionally there's a couple little things that are issues. Like, for example, refrigerators need to be disconnected and emptied out, correct?
Yes.
So that's one, as a realtor, we make sure you understand that if the buyer's not taking the refrigerator and the seller's leaving it, you got to get disconnected. You got to get it cleaned out, which in some cases, the probate, I've had some fairly hairy refrigerator clean outs I had to hire some people to go out and do. But that's one issue. What else is a common thing that you guys don't take that somebody might think it might cause a hiccup?
Yeah, so there's not too much we don't take. Unfortunately, there are, so like wet paint, for example, we just can't take, obviously, because it can get everywhere and stain and do all that kind of stuff. Any hazardous material, so biomaterial, obviously we just unfortunately cannot take. And then it depends on how the situation looks, I guess. So I've had jobs where they've shown up to a hoarder house, for example, and unfortunately there are needles everywhere, and they can't just guarantee the team member safety in the sense of, if you're going to reach somewhere, you might get pricked. Unfortunately, that's just something they cannot do, just for our team safety. So if you are going to need our help, of course, and you see there are a couple of needles and you have the ability to take that away for us, that's super helpful. And then we can run in ourselves and take the rest. And obviously from franchise to franchise, it may differ of what they can take and what they don't take. But from my experience with mine, the big ones are kind of biohazard material and wet paint are kind of the big ones.
And when you say wet paint, you don't take paint in cans.
Yeah, so we won't, just because, again, as long as it's what's the word I'm looking for? If the lid is solidified on top, they may make an exception. But if it's loose wet paint, there's not much, unfortunately, we can do about that.
Okay. And on this list, full service pickup near you, these are some things you do pick up. So you do pick up monitors, displays, printers, computers, all this stuff goes. Pianos, you guys take pianos?
Yep. as you can see right
That's
there.
a big one
And
because some of the other companies don't take pianos, and that's a
really,
special process. Yeah, because moving can be difficult, special equipment, depending on
there,
what it is. And yeah, that's one that's been a positive. And what's surprising is when you get the listing, the seller will say, "Oh, this piano is a collector's piece. It's worth $20,000." The market for used pianos, unless it's a fine Steinway or something very fine condition, um, generally speaking, it costs more to move with a piano mover. If you're going to move from one location next, it costs more to move it than it retails for. And I
yep,
always tell sellers, just give it away to whoever wants to take it and be gone with it. But if you guys are willing to take it out, that's an interesting one to know as well.
yep.
So tell me about one of the things I know we talked about was a realtor program. You sent me an email about it.
Mhm.
Tell me a little bit about your realtor program.
So that's just something we actually just recently launched. This was kind of more like a test to see how well realtors would respond to it. Happy to say it was pretty well received so far. Can't say I had a bad call with the salesperson, or sorry, with the realtor about this. So essentially, the ISP 10 will give you 10% off from the top of any job we'll do. So this is not just anything you can do. This you can be given to any of your colleagues or any of your clients as well. Nice. So all they do is when they book a service, all they need to do is provide us with the ISP 10. So we book that in and I'll give them 10% off.
Nice. So ISP 10, it's here, and there's a little coupon you guys create as well. That if you're an agent and you're interested in a copy of this, email me or contact Bryce if you want to use this as a way to market your customers. And I think one of the things I do in my real estate practice is I explain to my customers that I'm a one-stop shop. I would never give them this. I would handle the 1800GotJunk order myself, but it's something you might consider giving to a customer or giving to an administrator of an estate if you can't get in the door with them as a way to kind of help them with their process. So good. So anything in particular that you would want to share working with realtors that you've helped them be successful, or any particular story you want to share with us before we wrap up?
Just trying to think. There are so many stories I've done in the past, and whether they're massive or small, I've helped so many people, honestly, just in the past. Trying to think of one that really sticks out. Actually, one is it's a college. It's the Santa Barbara College that we've been in contact for the last 7 months, off and on for a while. They have 30 years of collection, essentially. So it's going to take a while, but we're finally kind of on the path of helping her out and helping that college out and clearing up the space. They have, I think, 6 or 7 locations that are just full to the brim. That we're excited to help them out, and they can do anything for that. So yeah, that's a big one for me.
Well, congratulations on that big account. I'm sorry, I'm a smaller account, but I certainly appreciate
There's no such
you guys.
thing as a small account, don't worry.
And I always like to take pictures with the guys when they're doing the stuff, and I take a little video of it. And just as a realtor tip, I would take a video of it, post it in your social media, and go and leave a Yelp review. If they do a good job, I try to also mention the crew by name because they like that. There's different supervisors and such trying to get promotions. So I try to be a good team player with that as well. So we'll have the chat box, Bryce's contact info and his email. And then again, the coupon code 10% off is ISP10. And of course, if you have questions, feel free to reach out to Bryce, but mention that you saw him here. Bryce, been a pleasure. Sorry about the video glitch, but glad we had a chance to chat. It was fun seeing you in person a few weeks ago. Look forward to working with you in the future. Thank you for your continued support.
Yeah, no problem. Thanks again for having me. I really do appreciate it. And again, sorry about the video.